What if the greatest fortune you will ever own is not in your bank account but in your mind? What if the difference between struggling for decades and achieving wealth early lies in one invisible power you use every single day, your imagination? Napoleon Hill believed imagination is the workshop where all riches are created. Every skyscraper, every business empire, every breakthrough idea was once just a thought. The question is, are you using your imagination to escape limits or to reinforce them? Stay with me until the end, because today you will learn how to turn your imagination into early wealth. Lesson 1. Imagination is the starting point of all riches. The genesis of all human achievement, from the simplest tool to the most complex financial empire, resides within the ethereal laboratory of the human mind. Napoleon Hill's foundational premise is that wealth is not a product of luck or mere physical labor, but the materialization of a persistent, burning desire that has been meticulously sculpted into a mental reality. This process begins with the understanding that the physical world is a mirror. It reflects the clarity or the chaos of our internal visions. To the young wealth creator, imagination is not a childish escape from reality, but the primary tool for drafting the architecture of a future life. Before a single dollar enters a bank account, it must first be counted, felt, and claimed within the psyche. This internal pre-settlement of success creates a psychological magnetism, aligning one's subconscious faculties with the external resources required to bring the vision to fruition. When we speak of a burning desire, we are not describing a fleeting wish or a casual hope for better circumstances. We are describing an obsessive, well-defined objective that occupies the mind so completely that failure becomes an impossibility. Young entrepreneurs often make the mistake of working hard without a specific destination, treating effort as a substitute for vision. However, effort without a blueprint is like a builder laying bricks without a floor plan. Much energy is expended, but no structure rises. By translating a desire for riches into a clear mental image, you provide your brain with a target. This visualization process serves as a North Star, ensuring that every hour of work and every decision made is contributing to the construction of that specific mental image. If you cannot close your eyes and see the exact life you wish to lead, you will lack the conviction necessary to endure the inevitable storms of the marketplace. The concept that wealth is first imagined before it is earned serves as a profound psychological safeguard against the limitations of current circumstances. Most people allow their current environment, their bank balance, their current job, or their social standing to dictate the boundaries of their imagination. The wealth builder, conversely, uses imagination to override their current environment. They live mentally in the future they are creating, which allows them to act with the confidence of someone who has already succeeded. This is the as-if principle, acting as if the success is already a fact. When you visualize your impact and your business with high-definition clarity, your brain begins to filter the world for opportunities that match that image. You start seeing connections, mentors, and pathways that were previously invisible because your mind wasn't calibrated to look for them. Ultimately, your imagination creates the ceiling of your potential. You will never out-earn your self-image or outpace the limits of your own vision. If your mental blueprint is for a modest, comfortable life, your actions will naturally decelerate once that comfort is reached. But if your blueprint is for massive scale, global impact, and generational wealth, your imagination will keep you restless and innovative long after others have settled. The clearer the image, the stronger the direction. The stronger the direction, the more relentless the action. In the economy of the future, the most valuable currency is not capital, but the ability to conceptualize value where others see nothing. By mastering your imagination, you are not just dreaming, you are engaging in the most practical form of engineering that exists. Lesson 2. Use synthetic imagination to improve what already exists. Napoleon Hill categorized the imaginative faculty into two distinct branches, the first being synthetic imagination. This is perhaps the most practical tool for the modern entrepreneur because it does not require the spark of genius or the invention of a brand new concept. Instead, synthetic imagination is the art of arrangement. It is the ability to take existing ideas, concepts, business models, or technologies and combine them in a way that creates superior value. Most of the world's greatest fortunes were not built on a eureka moment of total novelty, but on the refinement of an existing process. Henry Ford did not invent the automobile. He used synthetic imagination to combine the idea of the car with the assembly line process used in meatpacking plants. He reorganized existing elements to create a more efficient result, and in doing so he revolutionized the world. For the young wealth builder, synthetic imagination is the antidote to the perfectionist's trap, the belief that you must have a completely original idea before you can start a business. In reality, the marketplace rarely rewards total novelty, it rewards better solutions. By observing the world through the lens of synthetic imagination, you begin to see gaps in existing services. You look at a successful company and ask, what are they missing? Or how can this be delivered faster, cheaper, or with a better user experience? This is the essence of innovation. It is the process of taking A and B and realizing that, when joined together, they create a C that the market desperately needs. This approach lowers the barrier to entry for new entrepreneurs, as the raw materials for their success are already visible in the world around them. To cultivate synthetic imagination, one must become a voracious student of different industries. Wealth flows to those who can cross-pollinate ideas. A technique used in the software industry might be the perfect solution for a bottleneck in the construction industry. A marketing tactic from the fashion world might be the key to scaling a boring service-based business. When you ask yourself daily, how can I make this better? You are training your mind to be an optimizer. You stop accepting the status quo as the final version of anything. This consistent application of focused imagination turns every frustration you experience as a consumer into a potential business opportunity. Every time you say, I wish this was easier, you have found a seed of wealth that synthetic imagination can grow. Innovation, therefore, is stripped of its mystery. It is not a lightning bolt from the sky, but a disciplined habit of mental reorganization. The wealth that follows this process is predictable because it is based on providing tangible, improved value to the end user. If you can take an existing service and make it 10% faster or 20% more convenient, the market will naturally migrate toward you. Synthetic imagination allows you to stand on the shoulders of giants rather than trying to build a mountain from scratch. It is the work of the strategist, the improver, and the refiner. By focusing on how to bridge the gap between what is and what could be, you position yourself at the forefront of wealth creation. Lesson 3. Activate creative imagination through faith. The second branch of the mind Hill identified is creative imagination. While synthetic imagination works with the known, creative imagination reaches into the unknown. It is the faculty through which hunches and inspirations are received. Hill believed that this part of the mind is the direct link between the individual and infinite intelligence. It is the source of the breakthrough ideas that define eras. However, this faculty is not easily accessed by a mind clouded with stress, logic-only thinking, or skepticism. It requires a specific frequency to operate, the frequency of faith. In this context, faith is not a religious sentiment, but a state of mind characterized by a total absence of doubt. When you combine a burning desire with an unshakable belief that the outcome is already yours, you vibrate at a level that allows creative imagination to function. Doubt is the primary insulator that blocks the signals of creative imagination. When a young creator says, I want to build this but I don't know if I can, they effectively shut down the very faculty that would provide the how-to. Creative imagination provides the solution only after the mind has accepted the goal as a certainty. This is why many of the world's most successful people seem delusional to the average observer. They speak of their goals as if they are past tense facts. They feel the emotions of success before the success has arrived. This emotionalization of thought is the on switch for breakthrough ideas. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between a real experience and one that is vividly imagined and felt with deep emotion. By flooding your mind with the feeling of achievement, you force your creative imagination to find the path to make that feeling a physical reality. The practice of speaking your goals and feeling them is a method of programming the subconscious. The subconscious is the servant of the conscious mind. It carries out the orders it is given most frequently and with the most intensity. If you provide it with orders flavored with fear and worry, it will diligently work to bring those fears to life. But if you provide it with orders flavored with faith and expectation, it will begin attracting the people, circumstances, and lucky breaks necessary for your success. These are not actually lucky breaks, they are the result of a mind that is tuned to a specific opportunity frequency. You start noticing a book on a shelf, an article online, or a person at a coffee shop that provides exactly what you need because your creative imagination has been instructed to find it. This activation of the mind through faith is what separates the grinders from the visionaries. Grinders rely solely on physical effort and synthetic logic, which are limited by time and energy. Visionaries leverage creative imagination, which is limitless. They understand that the how will reveal itself as long as the what and the why are held with absolute conviction. This requires a high degree of mental discipline, as the world will constantly provide reasons to doubt. Protecting your faith is as important as protecting your capital. When you walk with the confidence that your breakthrough is inevitable, you become a magnet for the very ideas that will create it. Your creative imagination is the bridge between your current reality and the unimaginable riches of the future. Lesson 4. Guard your mental workshop. The imagination is an incredibly fertile workshop, but it is also an indifferent one. It will build a palace just as readily as it will build a prison, depending entirely on the blueprints you provide. This is why the fourth lesson, guarding your mental workshop, is the most critical for long-term psychological health and financial success. Every piece of information you consume, every conversation you engage in, and every environment you inhabit acts as raw material for your imagination. If you fill your mind with the junk food of modern media, fear-based news, petty gossip, or the constant comparison of social media, you are providing your imagination with defective materials. You cannot build a masterpiece of wealth and impact out of the debris of scarcity and negativity. Successful young wealth builders treat their minds like high-security treasure vaults. They understand that negativity is a contagion that can quietly erode their vision. This doesn't mean ignoring reality, but it does mean being ruthlessly selective about which realities you allow to take up residence in your brain. If you spend your time with people who complain about the economy, you will subconsciously begin to imagine failure and scarcity. Your imagination will start creating scenarios of loss instead of growth. Conversely, when you surround yourself with expansionists, people who see opportunity everywhere, your imagination naturally begins to build bigger and bolder blueprints. You must curate your circle and your content to ensure they are serving your higher vision. Discipline over mental inputs is the hallmark of the elite. This involves more than just avoiding negativity. It involves the proactive pursuit of mental nutrients. Reading biographies of those who have achieved greatness, studying the mechanics of wealth, and engaging in deep work are all ways to feed the imagination with possibility. When you immerse yourself in the stories of people who turned nothing into something, your imagination accepts this as a standard rather than an exception. This shifts your baseline. Your mental workshop begins to operate on the premise that large-scale success is normal and achievable. This shift in perspective is often more valuable than any technical skill, as it allows you to approach challenges with the calm of someone who knows the solution exists. Furthermore, guarding the workshop means being mindful of your internal monologue, the way you talk to yourself when no one else is listening. If you allow self-criticism and doubt to run rampant in your mental workshop, you are effectively sabotaging your own machinery. You must become a vigilant gatekeeper, stopping every fearful thought at the entrance and replacing it with a thought of power. This is not positive thinking in a vacuum. It is the strategic management of the most powerful tool you possess. Your imagination is the engine of your life. If you allow sand to be poured into the engine through negative inputs, the entire vehicle will eventually grind to a halt. Keep your workshop clean, keep your materials high quality, and keep your vision uncompromised. Lesson 5. Turn imagination into organized action. The most tragic mistake a person can make is to master the art of imagination but fail the test of implementation. Imagination without action is nothing more than fantasy. It is a mental hallucination that yields no harvest. Conversely, action without imagination is blind effort, running hard but in the wrong direction. The bridge between the mental world and the physical world is organized action. Napoleon Hill emphasized that once the vision is clear and the plan is formed, it must be executed with a persistence that ignores the possibility of defeat. Wealth is the byproduct of a well-conceived idea that has been hammered into reality through the heat of consistent, disciplined work. The dream is the seed, but the action is the water and the sun that allow it to grow. Organized planning is the process of breaking down a massive, intimidating vision into small, digestible daily steps. When you look at a goal of making $1 million, the imagination might see it clearly, but the logical mind might feel overwhelmed. Organized action solves this by asking, what is the one thing I can do today that makes this vision a reality? This turns the abstract into the concrete. A wealth-building plan is a living document. It is not meant to be perfect from day one, but it is meant to be followed. As you take action, you receive feedback from the real world. This feedback allows you to refine your plan using synthetic imagination. You adjust, you pivot, and you recalibrate, but you never stop moving toward the original vision. The secret to early wealth is often found in the mundane details of execution rather than the glamorous moments of inspiration. It is the result of showing up when you don't feel like it, making the extra call, and refining the product for the 100th time. This is where persistence becomes the deciding factor. Most people quit when the newness of their imagination wears off and the drudgery of action begins. However, the true wealth creator finds joy in the execution because they see every action as a brick being laid in the house they have already built in their mind. They are not working for a maybe. They are working to unveil a certainty. This perspective provides an inexhaustible supply of energy that those who lack vision simply cannot access. In the end, your life will be a monument to what you imagined and what you did about it. The world is full of dreamers who never built anything and workers who never dreamed of anything better. To join the ranks of the truly wealthy and influential, you must be both. You must dream with the boldness of a child and plan with the intelligence of a general. Act relentlessly on the visions your imagination provides. Do not wait for the perfect time, because the perfect time is a myth created by the fearful. The only time that exists for the wealth builder is now. Take your mental blueprint, grab your tools, and begin the work of construction. Your riches are waiting for you to bring them out of the workshop of your mind and into the light of the world. Your imagination is not just for daydreaming, it is your greatest financial asset. Napoleon Hill revealed that wealth is created first in thought, then in reality. If you discipline your imagination, feed it with desire and faith, and back it with organized action, early wealth stops being a fantasy and becomes a strategy. The real question is, what are you imagining today? Because whatever you consistently picture, believe, and act upon, you will eventually become.